Stella just fell asleep, so she's snoring in the background. You know what is weird? You know how my phone just clicked off the other day? So right now it keeps like totally glitching and just doing the weirdest shit. But like everything just goes off. My whole screen is just black and like and it won't let me do things. Yesterday, of course, there was an update on it. So who knows? God. I swear to God, this place is so absurd. But the now the reason it's clicking off, I have like 2 videos. Like I have less than I think I have less than 3 hours for sure. Less than 3 hours of stuff in my phone storage of videos, and it just click off because it's all taken up with apps. Because now my TikTok app and my YouTube app are so full, and they count that in my storage. I don't know how to get that off of my storage. Like, I can't have the app on my phone, but I have to have the app on my phone to download. So, I don't know. You know, it's just one thing after another. I swear to God, I just can't even believe it. So, you know, I don't even know what. Like my daughter finally got to the Bahamas yesterday, and she had a horrible. She was like, "This is the worst trip that she had ever done to get there." It took like, I don't know. I think it took her 2 days to get there and stuff. Like you miss the first flight, not miss it. Whatever happens, they cancel the first flight. Then you miss your second flight. And then you have to wait and get your second flight. And so all of it just got messed up, and she didn't even get there till late last night. And when she was talking to me, you know, she was just so fed up and stuff. But is this stuff where, to me, it's like they don't know. They don't understand. You're going out into a world that is collapsing, and you're trying to continue to live like you used to live. It's not possible. I don't understand how people, like, it's weird. It's like they've got to see, you know, and maybe this is a part of her awakening, you know, to go out there and see. Like I've been saying and saying and saying. I even told her, like, I don't understand this traveling out of the country right now. You're going into a Hotel Rwanda situation if you just continue to be oblivious and just going around like nothing's going on. Oh man, I have such a tickle in my throat. So you're just gonna go around and act like everything is fine. Then the universe is gonna continue to show you that it's not fine, that it's collapsing. And it's so weird too. Is you know, I went on TikTok to see, you know, is there anything going on anywhere? I think I see there's weird stuff going on, like laws or rules or whatever their shit is that they're putting in place. Like they made it now in Australia that they're going to spray bacteria on the people. And I can't remember. When I was listening to the guy, I was like, okay, so they got it in so they can spray bacteria on them, and you do these with stuff in the air, which, you know, we already know that they're doing that. They're spraying stuff on us to go inside of us to change our DNA, and like they're actively doing that. And it's, you know, it's hard too, is just in the traveling, like to drive, that's not even to fly, just to drive a few hours away to see your family. And each time I go, and even like, so since this all started, I've done the road trip to Oregon. I've done a road trip to Spokane a few times, road trip to Yakima quite a few times, and road trip to California. But that was for medical. The one to Portland, that was after the first year. That was the first summer after we were locked up. And that was just kind of like, it seemed like, I don't think when it all started that we all knew it was the end, you know? I think that there was a lot of us who thought it was a temporary situation. We didn't know that was the beginning of the end. And so even that first summer when I went out, it was still kind of like shocking because there was so many places that were closed down. All the restaurants were closed, little shops were closed, cute little towns and all that stuff. It was just totally different. And how they had taken all these little coastal small little fisherman towns and stuck Walmarts in them and shit. It was it's disturbing how they just want everything to be so commercialized, and that's all they want, is us to just be consumers. That's all they care about, is as long as we are hopeless, helpless consumers that argue with everybody. That's their ideal way of life for humanity. But humanity has to have more expectation for themselves, and more that, like, you have to have a moral compass. You have to know inside of you what's right and wrong. And that is what I keep seeing when I go on TikTok. It's not like people are taught, like, the conversations are different. Like, there's definitely people who are freaking out. Like, you better spend time with the people who have these, because the days are numbered. Which, that plays on your head. That feeds your fear, because we don't know. Like, we're all being chemically assaulted. Like, anybody can go at any time, And I do think that we have to keep that in mind. But I can't just be in fear nonstop that I've got kids that are going to pass that. But I have to accept, that, I don't know what their soul is doing here. I don't know the choices that their soul, obviously my soul was in agreement for whatever is going to happen, or it wouldn't happen. There is no surprises, even though to us everything feels like a surprise. There truly is no surprises. And I think when things come down to it and people really are honest with themselves, I think that they know their own truth, but some people don't want to face their own truth. They want their truth to be different than what it is, or something, And I think, it is that battle too between your head and your heart. You have to, because you got to think, like, your ego is kind of like the guard of your head, and your soul is the guard of your heart. And so there is this merging and balance that has to happen, and that is so is so unique, so individual to each person, their own balance. There is no set balance for us all. It's all based on your soul's experiences, and what your soul's gone through, and what your soul is here to go through, and the part you came to play. And we are all playing a part. And just like, some of the people, there's so much on their script that they don't realize they're playing a part. They're just playing the part. Like, they don't realize it. And then others of us who have awareness that we're playing a part in different people's lives. But when you get to that part where you realize you're playing a part, see, you don't get as affected. Like, if somebody thinks you're the bad guy, you can let go of it. Like, I can let go of it. If somebody thinks I'm the bad guy, okay, well, then I guess I'm playing the bad guy for them. But that doesn't make me a bad guy. That just makes me, it doesn't really make you anything. That is the thing, is like, so many people, it's just labels, 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 labels. And labels are so limiting. The other day, even when I was at my daughter's, and like I said, they're at this age, it's junior high age, where, confusion, and then the school pushes and all that stuff. And so this talk of, I don't know, if someone's gay or not gay or whatever. I don't even remember the whole, I swear to God, I think I'm much more of a talker than a listener. So I heard a little bit, and I don't know that, I mean, maybe what I said didn't even make sense, but it seemed to, because then the dad reiterated what I said and confirmed it. But it's like, why would you just limit yourself and just say, I'm gay? I'm gay. I will never fall in love with the person unless they are the same sex as me because I'm gay. It's like that right there, you just limited yourself and you used a lot of labeling to do it. And that is what they want us to do. That is why they hand us all these labels, because it's limitations, you know? And I don't think the kids even understood that, because they think that, you know, that's being more open. Well, I'm gay. It's like, yeah, that isn't more open. It's even more limiting than being a heterosexual who possibly becomes bisexual or something, you know? It is just all about these limitations and these expectations. And all of this stuff, you know, about gay and straight and stuff like that, it has nothing to do with anybody else. It is to do with that soul's experience, what that soul came in to learn and understand about love. Maybe they're breaking down limiting beliefs. Maybe they had a past life where they couldn't be together, you know, and there's all sorts of reasons. You know, and when people understand that every single thing a soul does is to benefit the universal consciousness, it's to expand the universal consciousness into being more expansive. It just goes and goes and goes. You know, if we're coming up with limitations all over the place and we're limiting all our experiences, then, you know, what are we really doing here? You know, are we expanding, or are we just playing a game that they are constantly giving us the rules? You know, we have to be confident enough to break some of the rules and stop living by what they tell us is the way to live. Man, I just, you know, the religious stuff, I don't know, I just have had a lot of stuff, you know, in my head, you know, like I'll see something or hear something, and then it's just like, man, it's so crazy how people who call themselves Christians are the most judgmental people, and they have been for so long, and they don't recognize it in themselves, but oh my gosh, they're so judgmental. And I am, you know, and I don't know if the reason I'm even talking about this is, you know, because of stuff happening in my own family and stuff I see. But you know, anything you see in your own family, it's happening all over the place. It isn't just our own families. You know, we all were stuck on this whole concept for so long, like something was wrong with us. Our families were weird. People we hung out with were crazy. Like, we were all so focused on us being unacceptable to, you know, the majority. Most of us felt like we didn't fit in. You know, it's not just me. Tons and tons of people have always felt it was difficult to fit in. You have to be something, and you never feel like you're enough, and you always feel like something's wrong with you. And you know, that is just kind of like how we all were living, how everybody just took it on for themselves, and they're still doing it. I mean, people are constantly apologizing for themselves, like just apologizing for who they are, what they look like, what, you know, all sorts of stuff. It's like, you don't have to apologize. Like, where did we come up with this idea? Like, something was wrong with us and we have to apologize for, I mean, as well, oh, please forgive me for not being fully makeup. Forgive me for not doing my hair before this. Forgive me for my, you know, my outrageous thoughts or whatever. It's like, why do you need anybody to forgive you? Why do you need anybody to give you anything, you know? And that is, you know, is just something for us all to process. you know, what it is that we are needing from other people. Like, you know, why we need other people's approval. Like, we need to let go of needing anyone else's approval. And it's just it's so crazy. You know, like, there's so many things with relationships breaking up, like weird stuff. Like, everything at this point to me is just getting so strange, like, and so absurd. And you know, like this story. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Okay, this story, and this is just one. Like, there's lots of these. There's so many of these kinds of things. And this woman is like, I couldn't. I don't even know how she finished it. You know, I didn't listen to the whole thing. There's a lot of them I just don't listen to the whole thing because it's so repetitive of what's going on. But so this woman's getting divorced from her husband, and she's talking about this weird conversations and this weird way he's looking at things and stuff like that. And the reason they're getting divorced is because his son is a predator who was doing I don't know, I don't think you're allowed to say some of these words, but what gay guys do, you know, when they're having sex. So their son, the dad's son, did that to the other lady's son. So he sexually assaulted him, did some stuff, and then he did that, you know, like raped him. And I don't think you can say that word, so I won't say it again. But so he had done all that. So, and was doing it for a year. I don't know how old her son was. I thought she was saying the other one was 9 years old. But I don't know. Maybe her son was. And this kid was older or something. Because he had been doing it with his own sister since she was a baby. So, and then this dad apparently is just like, you know, I don't know, boys will be boys or something. Like, he's not taking it as serious as the woman, because the woman's getting divorced over it. And she also has another baby with them. And then the dad is like, well, it's okay to leave the baby with them. Like, what the hell kind of denial are you in? Like, mister? Like, that's what I mean. Like, absurd stuff. Like, really, really weird. I saw this other one. I see these all the time too, where these people are going and confronting people. Like, this one was a niece. The teenage niece, and this man's talking to her, wants sexy pictures and all this stuff. And, you know, wants to talk sexy with her and stuff. She's 14. The guy's confronting him. He's a fucking, like, 40-year-old cop. It's like, what? Oh my, protect and serve. And then there was another one that just crossed my mind too. It was another weird one. There's just one after another of these very strange things. So this woman was really outraged. I don't know what she had run across, but obviously she started looking more into it, because I don't, you know, my algorithm, I don't see these kids' videos. Like, I mostly see people who are talking about serious stuff. They're talking about what's going on in their lives, their mental health, things that are happening in their area, the sky, stuff like that. So she was looking at, there's people who make accounts for their kids and then set it up so their kids can make money off of it. So, you know, obviously the family's making money. So I don't know what this mom is like, why she's using her children to make money. But this woman even starts showing. So these people have these accounts for their kids. And then their kids do, I don't know, like what they have their kids do. But she showed one video where they said they had a TikTok that you can go on and tip them and, I don't know, watch them live, I'm sure. But on YouTube, you can also go on and watch this lady's kids, these two girls, 13-year-old and 14-year-old, just strut around in their swimming suits. Like, that's what their videos are. Like, what in the world kind of women are using their kids? Like, so you're fishing out pervs so you can make money. Like, that's what I mean. Like, selling your soul. You know, these people who want to just go all on the celebrities, you know, as they sell their souls. There's motherfucking people who sell their soul every day. Selling your soul is going against your own moral compass. You know, I don't know what people think selling your soul. Selling your soul, like, your soul has a set rules. Like I've said, it's like you're imprinted inside of you. And your DNA is imprinted with a moral code. And, you know, and it's the challenge to know your moral code, even in a place of darkness. And that is where we're at. That's the challenge. So you can, you know, recognize your own moral code. And when you can't, you know, you're selling your soul. You're selling out. You're going against your own fiber of being. And so, you know, and they want to point out, like, the big ones, like these celebrities and stuff. But, you know, I think it is so much more bigger. Like, you know, you know, because, yeah, some people, in order to become famous, they had to sell out at some point. But there's other people who were also used because they were different. So then they're used, and then they have to recognize, like, I'm being used here, and have to pull free. Like, it's not just one sad thing in this whole, like, the whole industry, the whole celebrity industry that is used to, you know, distract us, to guide us, to direct us in how we need to think, you know. And all it takes is for us to start thinking for ourselves and be like, you know, I'm not in alignment with how this person thinks. Like, right now, I swear to God, every time I go on YouTube, there is, I don't know if there's people who just make shorts just about actors and actresses or something, but, like, just tons with Jennifer Aniston. Like, and she was just on some magazine cover, I think. And to me, she is such like, she's Kim Kardashian, you know, like that kind of status to me. You know, she's very much used to direct people, but she participates. Like, that's what I mean. Is like, she lets herself be used. Like, you know, and that's where you're like, okay, so do they have something on her? Is she just this much of an empty shell of a person? Is she this stupid? Like, what, you know, what's wrong? How do you just let yourself be used like this? And, you know, and I think there's a lot of them who are, you know, they know if they're coming out and telling people, you know, go do this and you better put this on and all this stuff that is bad for people, and they're telling you to do it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just, you know, I'm just disgusted. I'm disgusted by these people selling their own kids. I'm disgusted by people just selling out humanity. Just like, it's bizarre. It's so weird. This whole world, this whole situation that is happening and how it's playing out is just so strange. And that, man, when I started knowing shit was going to go down, I did not think it was going to go slow like this. And I didn't, and, you know, there's some of the stuff you just don't really see until you get, like, in it. You know, it's kind of like you can stand out and look at the pond and see what it looks like. But then when you get in it, you know, you're in the mud and you step on sharp things and stuff like that. So everything just starts being more, you get a new perspective when you go in. And that is what it's like, like we're in the sludge, and all of the stuff that's coming to the surface, that's being set free as we walk around, and it starts coming free and going up into, for us to see. And I don't know. There's something about some of these people. Like the other day, I saw a commercial for this new movie. It's got that Jason Momoa, I think. And it is supposed to be a kid's show and stuff like that. Which, I know that there's some celebrities who have done a lot of kids shows. And then it's like, oh, man. Some of them, like, I think they get used, because of some directors and stuff, like the kids. Like, I feel like there is a certain point, kind of, to me at this, like, why are kids in movies? Like, fucking why? Why are we putting kids in movies? It makes no sense to me. Especially, they could do CGI if they really want to put a kid in there, They don't need to put real ones in there. So when they're putting them in there, they're like, it's like the parent who will sell their child out and the director that will take them under their wing. And so it's kind of like, they get these, they put these movies out, what is that, like a audition for this kid movie or whatever. They get thousands and thousands of kids. So, all those managers, all those pervs, all those people who are willing to sell their kids out. See, it's like a whole little funneling system. And how many kids, like, go and do stuff and then, we never hear about them again. And so anyways, I'm pretty sure his name is Jason Momoa, the big old giant guy. He's like The Rock. And I think he's Aquaman. And then, so in this one, he's playing some sort of course, some sort of hybrid human half animal thing, because, like, that is what the whole thing is. That is what we started as, and that is where we're, they're still doing that. But, and it looks like it would be cute, but I cannot go in and watch because it's like this fantasy movie. I think of a Fantasy World or something, or kind of like Drop Dead Fred or something, like a Drop Dead Fred. He was what is that called? Not a secret friend, but it's the kind of friend when you're a kid that nobody else can see but you. I can't think of what they're called. But so I don't really know the premise behind this, but I've seen that Jason Momoa being interviewed, and he's got his daughters in front of him, and he keeps feeling this one up. Like, he keeps rubbing her boob. Like, is he just, like, not noticing, like, what he's doing? And she keeps pushing his hand off. It's so awkward. It's so creepy. And then, just the way he's moving up and stuff, I don't know. I just see somebody who, I don't know if he's actually perving on him. Like, it's weird. Like, why he's doing that to his kid and keeps rubbing his hand on there, and she keeps pushing it and pushing it. So, I don't know. I wish they would just stop putting kids in movies. Just, like, it's weird. Like, think about it. Like, why did we start accepting that? I've thought about this for months and months, and I've been, like, watching movies and watching these different movies and watching the different ones that they put kids in and trying to understand, like, why is this kid in this movie? What would this movie be if we didn't have this kid? Like, there's some that I get, like, the whole premise is about this relationship with this kid, but they put a lot of kids in a lot of movies. And they have a lot of auditions for a lot of kids. And they have a lot of pervs on a lot of kids. And they have a lot of people who, sell their soul. Like, they join the perv club or something. Like, it's very strange. Or do they all just, like, I don't, like, I think most people, like, I don't want to say are bisexual, because I don't think that I think that's just a word. I think it's just a label, because to me, our soul has no gender. There's no gender. You're just a soul. You're just energy. Then you're birthed into a reality, different realities. You're birthed into this reality where there is a gender identity. And so then there's a development of relationships in the familial and the partnerships, all different types of relationships that we come here to experience. And so it makes sense to me, that you have limitations that in the societal norms that say you can't be with somebody else. But I think when people, like your same sex, but I think when people fall in love with somebody of the same sex, then those boundaries go way to them. So it is their experience to cross over that limitation so that they can experience love without having somebody else's rules set on their love experience. So I can understand that whole process of breaking through some of these paradigms and stuff like that. It makes total sense to me. And I think everything else is all like limitations. Yeah, there is experiences to come in and get married and have kids. That is one type of experience. There's experiences to come in and be with somebody who can't have kids. That's an experience. There's to come in and fall in love with somebody who is the same sex. And that can go in so many different dramatic experiences for people, especially in this society that is so judgmental and so confined. Like, I don't think people realize how much we are confined in how we think and how we see things, and the limitations that are put on us to control us, and then how much they use fear on top of all of it. Like I've said, like the fear goes to the very essence of our birth by telling us and holding it over our heads from the moment that we can fucking acknowledge words is that we're going to die. You're going to die. You're going to die. They're going to die. They're going to die. You're going to die. Like, everything is death, death, death. And then they start saying, like, you can prevent death. If you just do this, if you just do that, you can prevent death. And they just get people to just buy into whatever they're selling. To me, that is like the biggest lie. Like, it's even beyond like the whole thing about us living in this bubble realm existence that isn't, the whole thing with flesh and blood. Like, every single thing is a lie. And it's so crazy how, you can take a hologram and you can convince it that it's flesh and blood. I swear to God, this place, this whole existence that we're experiencing is so much like Westworld. Like, it is so much about our consciousness coming into this awareness and to start remembering, like, oh, I've done this before. Wait, I'm somebody else. Oh, wait, I've been killed. Oh, wait, I've been, it's the same thing of what they showed when the people started awakening to the trauma and to the experiences, and then into the control and understanding that they're being controlled and having to break free from the control. And I haven't seen the other, I'm pretty sure in this season that they are already at war, and that is basically, what we're doing. We're breaking free from these controllers who've been controlling and manipulating our existence, and they have got such a strong hold over so many people's minds. And it is tragic. It is hard, man. It's so hard when it's like, your whole family. It's so weird. Like, I'm so glad that, my daughter, just her experience, like, for this waking part, for her to break free from whatever it was she was going through, where she was cutting everybody off and then going into the hot. I was so glad that it just, was that going there in that experience, that we didn't have to go further into that, because so many people are going deep into some serious tragic shit is going on with people. And I know 100%. It is not a punishment. It is an awakening. It is to wake them up. It is to pull them into reality, to get them to think for themselves. And so many people are in so deep into this shallow existence of consumerism and dependence. And so, yeah, it's going to hurt when things are knocking you down and getting you to try and realize what this world is, because people are so stuck in this artificial existence that when things start really happening, it is freaking them out. And, it just, to me, I'm still going to be, nervous because my daughter still has to get home, she's still in another country during this thing while, they'd sit there talking about like, are we going to be nuked? Are they going to do this? Are they going to do that? Like, and you just don't know what they're going to do. They're going to do something. Something's going to happen. There's no way. Like, to me, it doesn't even make any kind of logical sense to think like nothing is going to happen. Like, there's people who think like, okay, well, the religious people are all stuck on this. The spiritual people are all stuck on this. And, all the people, like I just heard somebody saying, everybody thinks that they've got all the answers and they're out there, saying this and that. And, I don't know. I know that the stuff that I'm shown and myself that's shown to me, I feel certain about what I see too, I think we all do, but we all have different communication, and, but I don't think that, I think that there's is kind of like, well, it's just stuff in the Bible it's been manipulated. So I just don't think you can just be like completely, this is going to happen, this guy, even though all of this stuff keeps playing out what it says in the Bible. But just the way that it is like, okay, so in this rapture, that it's just going to take these people up away and Jesus is going to save them. But like when you think about it logically, does that make sense? If people are here to expand, people are here to evolve, people are here to understand their own power, their own abilities, then does it make sense that somebody's just going to come and sweep them up and take them away so that they don't have any of that experience, so that they don't evolve at all? Like, that seems worse to me. Like, if Jesus were to swoop in and save you before you got to evolve or expand, that is kind of like the opposite of what you would want. Like, so to me, yeah, that doesn't make sense. There is going to be, for sure, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to leave. And I don't think anybody is going to hell. I think we're in hell. Like, this is already a low vibration. Like, but, somebody can put themselves in hell. They can, I mean, your consciousness is the creator. You create your own reality. And you're going to create what you believe you deserve. So if you believe you deserve to burn in hell and have demons poking you with sticks for eternity, you can create that. I mean, it literally is, you are the creator of your reality. Whatever you believe, you will make it happen to a degree. Because no matter, if all of these people believe they're going to be raptured, like I said yesterday, there's enough of us who want certain things that have got our energy focused on it, and it's not happening. So there is a set way that all this stuff is going. So it's like there is a set reality that is going to happen, but you are playing a part. And so it's kind of like, are you playing a part that you love yourself, or are you playing a part that you're learning to love yourself? Because it's two totally different parts. When you're learning to love yourself, you let people walk all over you. You don't know your own power. You don't know your own abilities. You're just kind of lost. You're a victim. And when you love yourself, you're going at life you know, like more directly. You know your power, you are, is like marching forward. You go at life like a warrior. It's different than going at it like a victim. And that is what everybody is learning, you know, how to become your own savior, how to save yourself, how to go through all of this stuff and find out what it is that you want and need and how to go about giving it to yourself. And so to me, like, yeah, go in and rapture these people out, because, you know, I don't know tons of religious people, but I know my mom. And she's very cut off from any of the stuff I say, you know, because she's completely just set on this one narrative of what's going to happen. Jesus is coming to rapture them. They don't have to, the people who believe that don't believe they need to worry about a thing. They don't believe they need to do anything. They just need to stay focused on Jesus, and he's going to come down and save them from this hellacious life that we've all created together. And so you go down and you're just saved from that life. Where is the growth? Where is the expansion? You're not, you're just going. That to me is like the reincarnation recycle trap. Like, they're just gonna pull you out real quick before you grow. Here, we're just gonna pull you out and we'll get you ready for your next one. Like, you know, and that could be like, well, yeah, you're going to sit at the feet of this guy and you're going to sing to him for eternity now. And he likes his toes cleaned and clipped. Like, I don't know. I don't know. To me, I just feel like it is just opening your mind and to continue to realize your own power, and to continue to realize your own capabilities and your own abilities. And, you know, to me, it is so much about, like, no matter what happens, like, airplane can fall out of the sky today, which I swear to God, the firmament is getting lower. I swear that is what they're trying to cover. I really, like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I swear to God, I think it is something with the sky is going to open up. And I don't know if a lot of water is going to come in. Like, I don't know if the firmament is going to... But there's just too many weird things with the sky. The way that they keep trying to cover it. And especially in Yakima. It was so over the top. Like, I have limited sky here. We have limited sky. The time that I can see it the most is when I'm driving and there's open space. And there's like a little space between Bellingham and Maple Falls where I can see more sky. And that is where I've been driving, and I could see like that there was like a whole atmospheric compression. Like, sometimes it'll be like, it looks like Neapolitan ice cream. Like, you can see the stacks of atmosphere in the sky, which is odd. Like, I grew up where it was just a big old open blue sky and big fluffy clouds. So, you know, even the other day when I did these weird clouds, like in Yakima, these clouds were so weird. I did a video. You can go in and look at some of the videos. And, you know, I don't even think any video captures what you see with your eyes. But there was somebody in the comments, that's regular clouds. Like, what? I don't know. Like, I swear to God, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. Like, I don't get, like, do people just want to be right? Have they never looked at clouds? Do they really, have they only seen, like, the clouds in the last couple of years? Like, I'm so confused. Like, those are not regular clouds. Like, yeah, those are not clouds that have been around for 50 years, 60 years. No, this is the new clouds. These are engineered clouds. These are, you know, seeded cloud. Like, everything in this GMO world that we have, like this artificial, everything is a thing. It's just, everything is so artificial. You know, and how many people are just so satisfied with artificial. I was like weirded out the other day. I was singing something about the food. And it was just like, oh my God, all these people, because the shit is going to go down. And just the other day when I was over there and I was talking to my one granddaughter, and she's the oldest one. So she's 18. And so I was just trying to think, is she 19? No, I'm sure she's 18 and she's going to be 19 in June. But but she's on her own because her mom moved to Yakima because of this blended family situation. So she's there, but she has aunts and stuff there. So like there's family there. But to me, the other day when I was talking to her and I said something like, do you have food? And her dad is he's a trucker who said that the diesel thing was going to run out. And so I was like, well, he's definitely he's a doomsdayer for a long time. He'd be like, he even sent my daughter like one of those $2,000 food for a year, those emergency things. Like he's been a doomsdayer for a long time. And so then I was like, well, your dad, you already know you have food and stuff. And she's like, no. Is like, you don't have any food ready or anything? Nothing prepped? And she's like, no. I was like, well, you need some peanut butter and crackers or tuna or something. Like, how many people, how many kids are going to panic when this shit goes down? That is going to be the chaos right there, is when all of a sudden people can't, like, it's just so simple. Like, just the gas thing will take down everything because people don't know how to do things when they can't move around in their cars. I swear to God. Like, they can't figure out how to feed themselves if DoorDash doesn't bring it to the door. I mean, there's probably a reason why those stupid Uber Eats commercials are constantly showing people eating sponges and paper towels and stuff because they can't tell the difference. It's absurd. But like, there's literally people who have no idea how to take care of themselves. And so when shit goes down, they're going to go into a panic. Like, if you don't know how to feed yourself without calling in an order, and you don't have food in your house, your cabinets are empty, your fridge is empty, we have to go for weeks possibly with no power or whatever. Like, I don't know how bad some of this stuff is going to go, but it's happening to wake people up, to get them to understand their own abilities. And it's shocking, like some souls are really going to go from nothing. Like, you're going to have nothing, shit will go down, and then they're going to go into a panic, and then they're going to be pushed to figure out, like, it is going to be about learning how to survive, learning how to take care of yourself, learning how to be independent. Like, it used to be a part of life, and then we go into this world of laziness and dependence and what people will do to have someone take care of them or something. Like, I saw this is another thing that is just the absurdity of the stuff I'm seeing. This video was this woman, and so it's just her face. Her face didn't look the slightest bit as an overweight person. Her face looked completely, just trim. She didn't have any stuff, like, when somebody is pretty overweight, they start getting filled in right here. So she didn't have any of that. So, I don't know her real size. All I was seeing was her face, and it wasn't apparently obese. But so she was talking about Thanksgiving and how distraught she was seeing the pictures that someone had just sent her, the pictures of Thanksgiving and her family, everybody up at the table and doing stuff at their Thanksgiving party or whatever. And she said she was the biggest one there. She was so disgusted. She was going off on how disgusted she was. Like, she was so disgusted. She couldn't even believe she was so disgusted. How could people even have to look at her like that? It was so sick how anyone would have to even stomach seeing her, So she's just going on and on about how disgusting she is and how ashamed she is and how she's the biggest person at this thing, and, how horrible that everybody has to look at her like this. And she's going on, and then she just like, and I can't do anything about it. I can't do a thing about it. I'm just going to be obese. I can't stop myself. I can't It's like, but that is what this helplessness, that is what the universe is trying to show people. You're not helpless. You are not hopeless. You are not incapable. You are capable. You can do whatever you set your mind to. You can conquer. You can be a victor. You can, or vicar or whatever, the victorious. You can do whatever it is you want to do. But you have to set your mind to it. You have to program yourself into success. And that's the part of getting into life where you love yourself. You're living from this, I love myself, and you know your own abilities. You go in as a conqueror. Life starts going in that direction. It's not like you're having to fight it the whole time. It is a direction of energy. So it is just you directing your energy is what changes it. It's not like life starts trying to battle you, to prove to you. And if it does, it is because that is what your soul had set out, because you needed to prove it to yourself. No matter what happens, you were going to overcome it. No matter what happens, you were going to overcome it. And we have so much victim mentality when people are talking. When you go on there, and my algorithm, which is this even my algorithm, I mean, it's not even people I follow. Like, I think most of the people who are like me, we're all being shut down right now. We're being limited, and we're not able to talk. Like, they keep their account warning. They keep me restricted. They keep their threats and stuff. I can't even believe how many of my videos they've gone in and put community guidelines on. It's like, and then with all of them taking up the storage, I was like, man, do I just go in, just clean out all my TikTok, just take out all the first videos? And then I don't want to do that with the YouTube, because to me, there's so much of this stuff that's just getting started. Like, there's so many people who haven't even begun to look into the truth yet. And so, I know that there's so many of us who are out speaking about stuff, and that information is going to be there for the people when they start looking for it. It's like when the teacher, what is that? When the learner is ready, the teacher will be there. So I think that all of the universe has been like laying the groundwork with people, like making sure that the information is out there, so when people begin to look for it, that they can find it. But that is going to be when the energy turns. Like, all of these people who are feeling victimized, they'll either give up and just stay focused on the victim and stay in that low vibration and just kind of fade away, go out of this reality, or they will learn to empower themselves and be ready to go into become a creator. Because that is the new world. It isn't like this old world. It isn't where we're being controlled. We are the ones who are going to be in control. And so you can't be a victim. You can't be needing somebody else to direct you or babysit you. You have to learn your own power. You have to learn your own abilities. You have to learn and that's the independence. That's the freedom to be you. The independence to make your choices of how you want to live. And the abilities to take care of yourself, to feed yourself, to shelter yourself. That those are the things that we're going into this development of, because those are the things that we lost. People lost that ability of being independent and taking care of themselves because they became dependent and lazy. And I had seen this thing and it was something about the cycles, and through the cycles of life, it goes through this part where things become easy and people become lazy, and they just become they're too I can't think of the word, but it is like they don't stand up for themselves or make their own decisions and stuff. And then everything has to fall apart to push you into being independent and being stronger, because when things are easy, they make weak people. When things are hard, it makes strong people. And that is what we're recognizing our own strength. So things have to be hard so you can see how strong you are. But that is all it is. It's an experience for you to learn from and expand and evolve. And it's an experience that I think most people would want if they really understood what it is, like I don't, if my mom's mind wasn't being manipulated, I don't think that she would want to be just raptured out. I think that she would want to expand because she wouldn't want to waste this opportunity. This is like an ascension. This is an expansion. This is a leveling up. And so I don't think, and especially when you're talking about these souls who are all like religious Christians, Jesus lovers, whatever, that they see themselves as being the most holy. I mean, they're in my comments all the time. Like, you can be talking about God, but, are you a Christian? Are you talking about God as a Christian? And, you get people to start quoting you, Matthew 13.1 and Joe, all these, whatever they're called, these Bible verses, so they see themselves as, the top of the line of being, with God. They think that you have to go through them to get to God. Like there is no God except for their God. But then why would your God want you to be weak and dependent? I don't know. I just think there's so many things that people just have to look at it just more logically. Just have to look at things deeper because everything is so manipulated. But I do think that whatever is going to happen, this pole shift thing, but it is so we can see the other side of the coin, so we can see the truth. This because we're all living in this. The other day they showed me this coolest thing. They show me the coolest things all the time. And this one was like, it was these two people. And one was in the dark and one was in the light. And however they were showing me, I can't even remember. But it was really cool. And that is what is happening. It is coming out of the dark and seeing the light. And that is, so you have the coin, and you can only see the one side because everything has both sides. Every pole has two ends, unless you're, in real life, everything is a circle. That's why there is no pole. There is no two ends. That is the illusion, because everything is just, it's a spectrum, but it all leads back to itself. It just is spinning and going around and around and around and around and around and around and around. So, but to us, and our trying to understand the good from bad, we put two different ends on it so that we can try and understand in between and where we are, so we can understand ourselves. When there is a whole process to that, it makes so much sense when you start thinking about what this reality is used for, so you can understand who and what you are. And so, but when this pole shift thing happens, when everything flips so that we can see the other side, that's when we see our true truth, when we are not guessing anymore, when we get to really understand the truth behind so many things. And everybody's, it's curious too, because it is kind of going to be like this, giant Christmas where we all get to open a gift to our truth, and we all get to see the truth. And some people's truth is going to be just in what they've been in denial about in this existence. And they're going to have to see the truth and face that, and face why they were blocking it, and face their own biases and their own judgment. So anyways, I don't know if I'm saying anything that makes any sense, but anyway, everything does seem to be just absurd as can be, like the stuff that is going on with people and everything is. So I just see it all as leading us, I think it's picking up steam, but, it's slow. But I think something is going to be happening soon. Like, I just don't see how it could keep going. I mean, literally, we will all be dead. So, anyways, I better go and deal with this little sassy lady. So, have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.